What's up, guys? Welcome to Neek, which stands for Nerd/Geek, and if that relates to you, I would consider clicking that subscribe button. So the Sonic movie was finally released after it's supposed to be released last November, but got pushed to February. So I saw it, so this will be my review for it. This review will be spoiler-free, just talking about all the stuff. There's another video idea I want to do, talking about what I want, the future from the Sonic movie, and also just what I want. What video game movies would I like to see, and also talking about why video games are often quite bad. So I'll be talking about all of that stuff on a video, hopefully. But for this video will be my Sonic the Hedgehog review. One last thing before we get started is I started a Letterboxd. So if you don't know what Letterboxd is, it's a thing for, you can track all the movies you watch, you can put it on, you can review them, rate them, make a list, a watch list, and all that stuff, and you can follow other people, see other people's reviews, like and comment. So lots of people who do movie reviews on YouTube have one, so I started one, and so then you can see how I'd rate all the movies. You can see a bunch of lists, like my Marvel list, ranking, Star Wars ranking, Lord of the Rings ranking, Harry Potter ranking, and also all the 2019 movies I've seen. I'll do a 2021, I'll start that once I've seen more movies than one. But you can also just see how to rate a whole bunch of movies. I haven't put in every movie I've seen so far, but right now I have like over 200, so a lot of movies I don't get to talk about on my channel. You can go check out what I think about them there. So you can go check out, I'm going to put on some reviews. Right now I have a couple ones. I have all the ones for the Oscar movies. The movies I've seen that got nominated for Best Picture, just because that happened and I wanted to make it. And then I'm also going to do it for each movie. Whenever I see a movie, I'll rate it, put a review out, even if I don't get one on YouTube, just so you can get my thoughts on every movie I see now. So yeah, I'll put a link down in the description. Go follow me on Letterboxd if you want to. Go check it out. And if you don't have Letterboxd, I'd highly recommend getting it. So starting off with the good. So first off, this movie's just a fast-paced movie. Yes, pun intended. That's just really easy to enjoy. So it's only like an hour and 40 minutes. It doesn't try to extend it too long. And you're basically enjoying yourself basically the whole time. It doesn't spend a lot of like slow scenes, which I think is good, what you need for a Sonic movie. Also, they nail the Sonic character. Vince Schwartz plays him really well. He's the Sonic character you know from the video games. He's kind of makes his remarks. He's a teenager, kind of like all this stuff, and he's just really has this really fun screen presence. And also James Marsden and him, they have some really good chemistry in their back and forth, and I also really like James Marsden's character. And then we have Robotnik, or Jim Carrey playing him, and of course he's Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey hasn't done a role like this in a long time, where he just goes all out. And the thing about, I really like this, Jim Carrey, it makes sense that he would play Robotnik. This makes sense as a role, as Robotnik's kind of this like crazy scientist person. Makes sense that Jim Carrey would play him, and Jim Carrey goes all out, and he just goes for everything. Even if there's a couple, like, with the writing in this movie isn't, I'll talk about more of that in the bad, isn't the best, but even if there's like a line that doesn't really work, or a joke that kind of falls a little flat, you don't really notice it because Jim Carrey's playing it so well. So that was just really good. Also, the action scenes were surprisingly good. They're really good. Of course, there is one scene that is basically basically just the time in the bottle scene from X-Men Days of Future Past. But I love that scene, and I thought it was pretty good. It was also good here, and different. And all the other action scenes are different. They don't do two like slow-mo scenes like that. They have these like chase scene with the robots coming in the car. Thought it was like pretty good. And then the end battle I thought was actually really good. You have this chase going through with all, spoiler. This is spoiler free, so I can't tell you. But the end battle's really cool. It's like a chase sequence, and then when it happens at the end, all really fun stuff. Just fun Sonic action, and you get to see him do the Sonic stuff that you want. Also, the directors and writers are clearly Sonic fans, as and they bring this amount of passion to the project. Lots of problems with video games that they don't work. You can tell that the people that made them don't have a love for the video games. Like, lots of times you see the people who make some of the best comic book movies and superhero movies are the people who actually love the comic books. Like, Josh Whedon, he loves comic books, loves Marvel, and so of course when he does Avengers, it feels like Avengers. And they were able to nail all the Sonic stuff because they actually knew about Sonic. And also, they have their own like Sonic Easter eggs and stuff that only they have a bunch of Sonic Easter eggs I thought were really fun to just notice, but it wasn't like too much. Like they didn't throw them all the time, but they sprinkled them out really nicely. And then the end credit scene, well, there's two, especially the last one, the mid credit one, is really good. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it sets up stuff that, yes, definitely stay for it. It kind of got me pumped up. So yeah, moving on to the mixed. It's a very generic road trip movie, as you have these people, they don't really like each other. By the time they go on the road trip, they're best friends. So like we've seen that a bunch of times. They even do a bunch of stuff that you think. They have a bar fight. They have like a car chase. Lots of times you've seen those. So we've seen this story a lot, and you think this isn't what I wanted necessarily, the story I wanted from a Sonic movie. The only reason this isn't in the bad, and it also just takes place on Earth, which is not what you want from a Sonic movie. The only reason this isn't in the bad is because the director and writers wanted it to not be like this, and they wanted it to take place on all the different worlds. They wanted like the other Sonic characters to be in it, not just Sonic. They just didn't have the budget and they weren't allowed to do it. So I think they did the best they could with what they had to work with. But still, I didn't really want to see this road trip movie. And then also, because this movie is geared for kids, it's not really a bad thing, it's just what it is. So, yeah, of course, there are a couple of jokes and stuff that you could clearly tell, like, they have a couple of fart jokes, and just like, why? But then, I feel like it wasn't like one of those movies that's so geared for kids that adults can't enjoy, because I feel like they realized that there are lots of Sonic fans that are older, so they still tried to please them, but it is more for kids. Like, they didn't nail it like Pixar or lots of the Disney movies can nail this for kids and for adults. They didn't full on nail it. Yeah. Moving on to the bad, just some of the jokes felt completely flat. But it wasn't too big of a problem, because every couple minutes there'd be another joke that's actually kind of funny and other stuff. They showed throw much different types of jokes that some actually fit and some did not. And there were lots of just like awkward little moments, but not too big of a deal. And then there's a bunch of plot holes in this movie, like why Sonic didn't just run to San Francisco. It doesn't really make sense. They kind of give a reason at the beginning, like, oh, we can't do it right now. His legs are like still kind of messed up from the thing, but then you clearly see him running and he's like, oh, I don't know where it is. Like, I get it, because you need it to tap in with the story, but it's kind of plot hole. It didn't really bother me too much, because I knew in this context of this movie that I'm watching, I knew it was like, it doesn't really bother me. I know they're not trying to be like a super serious movie. It's just kind of a adventure movie mainly made for kids. So I was able to accept the fact. So none of those problems really took away from my enjoyment from the film too much. So now for the final score. And critically, I can only give it like a 7 out of 10. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 critically, because there still were lots. It wasn't the best rated and had some other plot holes and stuff, but still really enjoyable. So that's why with entertainment, I'm going high up. And this is like a 9 out of the entertainment scale. If you're a Sonic fan, I'd recommend definitely go see it. If you don't like Sonic, I guess you could probably skip it. Maybe it's worth the rent at like Redbox or once it's on digital. But yeah, I was not expecting this to be good, especially because of the redesign the first trailer with that horrible design, I was just like, what are they doing? So this is actually a pretty big comeback, and yeah, I'm just surprised that this movie is actually good. Tell me down below what you thought about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. If you've seen it, please like and subscribe and keep watching Neek.